What's up, guys? It's your commissioner here, Tim Nowak, and I'm not doing a weekly recap this week. I'm going to actually do something a little bit different. I'm going to be giving my opinions of each team in the league. You know, we're a third of the way through the season, and just going to spat out a few opinions. I'll let Rowdy do the recapping. Gosh, this is my second monster today. It's not even noon yet, so just pray for my body. All right, so we're going to start off with my Tubs. 3-1. I think my whole season depends on if Zeke will be suspended or not this season. I don't think he will be, but you never know. I've had a lot of requests for Mike Gillisley, a pick that has been proven to be very successful for me so far. But he's a really good bench player to have, honestly, as a backup running back. He would be a starter for some teams. But, yeah, I like the direction the Isotopes are going, 3-1. And, you know, I don't want to brag too much about my team because I don't like jinxing myself. But I don't know if this is a reverse or not on the camera. But you don't build a dynasty overnight, folks. All right, Chattanooga Cox, 1-3. The Cox, you know, Jay Ajayi has been a very big disappointment, and then David Johnson getting hurt early, first game of the season. That pretty much was it for the Cox. They're 1-3 right now. They're not the worst team. Lance in the Pants is the worst team right now, technically, points forced tiebreaker coming into play there, but we'll get to him later. So the Cox, you know, they made that trade for Amir Abdullah. And he actually played really well last week, and I think he's still got a lot of talent. Des Bryant, Adam Thielen, the Broncos defense. He has some pieces there that I think he could stay in contention. I'll say stay competitive where he wouldn't finish dead last. Wendell Smallwood, I drafted him, and I let him go, and I don't know why I did that. Let him go too early. I just got to hold on to those guys. But like I've told Kevin, that's his little revenge on last year. He drafted Jordan Howard, Kevin did, and dropped him the same week that I dropped Wendell Smallwood this year. So Kevin picked up Smallwood this year. I picked up Jordan Howard last year. Whatever. What goes around comes around. A great man named Justin Timberlake once said that. The experience, I mean, what can I say? He's 3-1. Top team right now in the league. Of course, he was top team last year too. He knows that. He seems to have taken a step back on his declaring his championship so early on the season. I don't know if I like that or not. I like him getting comfortable. Cody, I want you to just kind of get comfortable and just, you know, be complacent and don't do anything the rest of the season. But unfortunately, he is doing things. He's making trades. He's got Gordon Gurley has been dynamic this season. He has been the PPL MVP at this point, or Kareem Hunt. That's up for debate. Christian McCaffrey still hasn't got it going yet. But yeah, obviously Cody will be in the playoffs and possibly the championship game this year, and he might bring home his first championship. The Bad Boys are 2-2. They are rebuilding, like I said. And they have some great pieces there. Ty Montgomery and Devontae Adams, man, losing both of those guys last week were good. That was good for me because I was playing Darren. However, you know it's going to hurt his team. He's going to take a step back now. Ty Montgomery might play with broken ribs, but I mean, how effective can he be when he's going to be thinking about those ribs every time? You know, they're going to be going for it. The Cowboys will be going for those ribs to try to do anything they can to disturb his running style or just the way that he pees. Samaje Perine, or whatever his name is, and Devin Funchess look like some good pickups. Devin Funchess, another guy I drafted and I let go too early. But this isn't about me because I screw up too. We all screw up. Everyone screws up. Look at everybody. I don't know where I'm going with this. All right, so Willie Snead's back. We'll see how that plays out throughout the season. Leonard Fournette has been an outstanding draft pick. And, yeah. He's 2-2, and I could see him making the playoffs. This will be a long video, I have a feeling. It's already 5 minutes. So stay tuned if you want to hear about your team, or just skip ahead and listen for keywords like players on your team. Or don't care at all, but when you won 4 championships, you might want to listen to the guy that won 4 championships. Yeah, that was a brag. All right, freaking Froberg is 3-1. And just this past week, he is basically now in desperation, and he is trying to save this season as best possible. He's 3-1, so he got off to a good start. But he lost Derek Carr, and he lost Dalvin Cook for the year, and possibly Rob Kelly for maybe a week, maybe not. So he will probably be making some moves. I have a feeling he'll be doing some trading, knowing Fro. This is a good start for him, and he doesn't want to sit out. He doesn't want to miss the playoffs again. He's too good of a football-minded person to miss the playoffs again. One guy on his bench, Dante Foreman, that I really like, and I think over time he will overtake Lamar Miller. Lamar Miller had a great game last week, but that's his one great game for the season, so he's done. He made some trades with the experience and the Cox. He got Bilal Powell the week that he goes off. I know Kevin's probably thinking, WTF? What the F? Powell, come on. That's what Kevin's thinking. But you have to remember, Powell did that last year. It was very mediocre. Forte went down, and he was one of the best running backs the last 4 or 5 weeks of the season. I should know. I had him. Gosh, I keep bringing it back to me. I'm not trying to do that. I just, know my team better than anybody. Mike Evans is a stud. I love Mike Evans. I would honestly make love to Mike Evans. Keenan Allen, he actually hasn't had a big game yet, but he's been producing every week. So Fro has pieces to keep him in contention, but he's going to have to find a replacement for Carr and Dalvin Cook for their season. I know there's some good players on the waiver wire. We'll see how that plays out. Roger Goodell off to a horrible start and making me eat my words about saying he's top 3. But I just look at his team even now, and I just wonder what is going on. He can't get them all together on the same week. Russell Wilson is starting to get it going the last few weeks. Jordan Howard is, hit or miss, but he's got Tariq Cohen too. Goodell does, instead of in case Howard does miss time. But, they're kind of like taking away points from each other, really. Beckham can't stay healthy on the field. He seems to have a cramp or a jammed toe or whatever, or thumb, Michael Thomas is everything we all thought he'd be. Great. Gronk is great and healthy. Alex Collins, very interesting pickup when he did it. At the time, Alex Collins hadn't taken over the starting job yet, but looks like he's starting running back for the Ravens right now, and he might struggle with some fumbling issues, but he's averaging, I think, 7 yards a carry. It's insane. So, we'll see how that plays out. And, of course, he picked up Will Fuller the week I dropped him, and I shouldn't have dropped him either. All right, Sharknado's 1-3. Sharknado's, once again, just the mystery of the Sharknado. They lose Allen Robinson the first week of the season. Then Julio Jones leaves early last week. But the Sharknadoes, they have some young talent, and I think they're not really playing for this year. They're playing for the future. They have Winston's young, Hyde is young, Coop is young, or Cup, or whatever. Devontae Parker's very young. We have Mike Williams on their bench just waiting to get some starting time or playing time. Alvin Kamara, just slowly, his role increases every week. And I know that the Saints fans, Cynthia, and I think Darren likes the Saints a little bit, are excited about that kid. And they should be. And of course, Julio Jones and Kenny Golladay. He's got some young talent. He's got to get them all together, though. Right now, it's young, inconsistent talent, but over time, it might level out. Plus, LaShawn McCoy hasn't really done much this year so far. The Rowdies 3-1. He was in the championship last year. Can't really argue with that. He made a trade last week. He got Chris Carson, which he'd been playing phenomenal. Got hurt. Might be out a month. Might be more. You don't know. It's too early to tell. The big move that the Rowdies made, though, they got Chris Hogan. I thought that was a great move by them. But picking up Deshaun Watson. So now they have Tom Brady and Deshaun Watson. You would have to think that one of these guys will be traded to fill the void he has at running back at some point in the season. Right now, because he's got LeGarrette Blount, which was also a good pickup by the Rowdies. and Duke Johnson Jr. So he only has them starting this week, though, because C.J. Anderson's on a bye. So I think he's going to stay in contention. He's got the pieces, too. He's got Tom Brady and Chris Hogan, which is a good 1-2 punch, and Travis Kelce, which is debatably the best tight end in football right now. Gronk's had a few off weeks, so. All right, on to America's team, 2-2. Wasn't a good week from last week. Kareem Hunt looked human, although he almost had a touchdown late in the game, but Alex Smith decided to keep it running in. Obviously, Kareem Hunt and Tyreek Hill are young talents that should keep them in contention every week. Joe Mixon, kind of a mystery right now, but I feel like he'll be really good by the end of the season. But yeah, he's got a good team. I still don't know if this is his year yet. We'll see how the season plays out, but I think in the future he will be in contention every year. The Urinators, the first place Urinators, last week just put it to the experience. I'll let Rowdy talk about that, and I've talked about it in the group text. But yeah, Lamar Miller, I think he's garbage still. Amari Cooper's going to be hurting now without Derek Carr. Randall Cobb has played really well this year, actually. Charles Clay's the number 1 wide receiver in Buffalo, although he's a tight end. I see the Urinators winning 5 games. Yeah. So that's my opinion on them. All right, Lance in the Pants, the worst team in the league right now. I know he might be getting Lance in the Pants if he keeps it up during the drinkings. Oh, by the way, Urinators and Rowdies, what? A mile? Come on. No one's going to care about the mile. Do like something quick, like a fist to the anus or like an arm wrestling match or whatever. And Zane, you're training for a mile, so obviously you want to challenge him in a mile. All right, so Lance in the Pants, he's the oldest team in the league, and I don't think it's even close. Doug Martin's back for him this week, so he was patient with Doug Martin, held on to him. He's back for him. That should definitely improve his running game, as it's struggling mightily right now. Terrell Pryor finally had a good week last week. I don't even know if he started him or not. I didn't even look. But Marshawn Lynch has been a big disappointment. Adrian Peterson obviously has been a disappointment. He's getting less and less of a role or playing time every week. Unless something happens drastically, Lance in the Pants might be doomed for last. But he's got some draft picks heading in next year. He's got a lot of picks. I think he's got 4 or 5 in the first 3 rounds. All right, finally, the Gotham Knights. The Knights, Devontae Freeman has been just outstanding for him this season, and Cam Newton has been frustrating for him. He finally shows up, but he benches him. However, Andy Dalton also showed up. So I don't know if Todd's just going to be streaming quarterbacks or if he's going to go back to Cam. We'll see. Of course, he lost Corey Davis and Greg Olsen same week. Brandon Cooks has been very inconsistent this season so far. Maybe Brady's still trying to establish some kind of chemistry with them. The injury to Chris Carson should help the Knights. Thomas Rawls, you would think would at least be active now. He was a healthy scratch last week. But you never know with Seattle. Eddie Lacy played last week. So, yeah, I don't know. The Knights have some... They might want to rework some major parts of their roster here. Jaron Brown is actually, I didn't see when Todd picked him up, but that's a good addition there. He's been kind of a target monster lately. Picked him up September 15th, it looks like. So, I don't know. Todd, I think he needs to work some trades out, but I think this is still salvageable. Maybe not this year, but he just needs to get some pieces in there to build on. Mark Ingram, Kamara has taken more and more playing time. He's been more effective than Ingram last couple weeks, I believe. Maybe I have that wrong. So, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what Todd does. He's not one to shy away from trades. He has won a championship, so we know that he has it in him to turn it around. And he turned around a much crappier team than he has now. All right, but that's my opinion. Third of the way through the season. This is a 15-minute long video. If you stuck around, congratulations. You just helped yourself out a little bit. If you didn't, whatever. All right. Peace, love, homies.